Are your bar charts flat and unengaging? You're not alone. Too many people are using Tableau's default settings to create bar charts and then moving on to the next action. The next couple minutes, I want to show you a couple things that you can do to make your charts more engaging, more purposeful, and help the user explore the data and become engaged. Hi, I'm Weston, and in the next couple minutes, I'm going to show you a couple things that I do to take my bar charts to the next level. Here's the typical sales chart. We've put countries along the bottom and sales on the rows. We get the bar charts, and this feels very flat, right? There's not a lot of additional information that's being provided, just the sales. Here's what we want to get to. Now we've got a bar chart. We still have the bar chart, but now we know the countries to focus in on. The red represents those countries that are not profitable. First thing we did is we created a calculated field. It says if profit is greater than 0, it's profitable. If it's less than 0, it's not profitable. Two options. We're going to bring this over to the color. And immediately, you're already getting some additional context to your chart. Yes, you know who the sales are, but now you also know which countries are not making money, and that might be a place where you want to dive in a little bit more. With the default, there's a lot of distraction going on. Let's clean up that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to show the labels. Those are a little small, so I like to make them 14 or 15. And now you say those are too big. So we're going to come under sales. We're going to format those. Come under numbers. We want to change it to currency, so you know it's $1, sales. Get rid of the decimals. You don't need those cents. And then it's still too big, so I'm going to go to thousands. That makes it fit just on top of your bar. Now we don't need this axis here, so we don't need to keep going back and forth between the bar and the axis. So let's remove the header. Now we still have those lines, and while that might be helpful in some cases, it's not really adding a lot. So if you don't already have your format menu up, come under format, we're going to do lines, and you'll see under rows, under columns there's none. So under row, grid line, we're going to change that to none, and that gets rid of the line. Looks a lot cleaner, it's easier to read, the message jumps out at you a lot better. Let's say you have a sales chart with products. A lot more products here. In fact, there's too many products to process, but I wanted to show this just to kind of prove a point. Trying to put color on a chart like this is what I've often seen, is something like this. They put color, the product on the chart, and so every bar has a different color. And that's just, it's not helpful at all because there's too many colors. If there's too many colors, you don't know what they mean. If you're going to put color on a chart, try and limit it to just a couple. That helps identify where the user should be focusing in. One thing that we can do to help improve it is add a reference line. I'm going to add a reference line. Come up here. I'm not going to use one of the fields. I want a constant number. And let me just pick 60. I'm going to put a label on here. I don't want just the number. I'm going to try to explain it and say top seller quantity. And then I'm going to use this little arrow here just to show you what we can do. And you can input those values in there. The value, what the computation is if you had the sum of the average. So we're going to put value, and you can see there's my note there. I've also gone in and filled in the shading. So this is fill in below the line. And the reason I do that is it helps me quickly identify which items are above. If I had just the line, it might get a little confusing between the grid lines. So now as you scroll through, I know I'm going to go fast, you're going to see those different high quantities really jump out at you. So this is great. But what could we do more to help engage and have the user get more information out of it, out of the chart? What we're going to do, we have this chart here, and now when I hover over, I've already created a chart that has a breakout by country, has the quantities, and just like we had on our a little bit earlier, we had profitability on color, and so now we're going to be able to identify which countries are not profitable. Now, if I come here under the tooltips, you can, if you don't know, you can insert other charts into the tooltip. So we'll come under Insert, Sheets, and I'm going to do, what did I call it, Breakout? I'm going to put Breakout here. And this is the thing that's key, filter all fields. So when I hover over the different products, that's going to actually filter my breakout chart. Let me show you. So now you can quickly identify which countries are, where those products are being sold, and which countries are profitable, which will lead you to other questions and more research into the problem. And that's what you want from all your visuals. You want the user to become engaged and want to explore the data rather than just look at it. I hope you found that helpful. That was just the beginning. If you discover something or know of something that would help others, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I know everybody else would too. Remember, always focus on making your dashboards engaging so the user has to interact with them instead of something really flat, and you'll be happier, and so will your customers. Thanks for watching.